What's going on, guys? The CTA Prime back here again. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Insignia Fire TV Edition. Now this is the 32-inch version. They're on sale as of making this video on Amazon and Best Buy for $99. The resolution on this is only 720p, but I think it's well worth $99 if you need an extra TV for a guest room, your kid's room, the garage, your basement, or even an arcade cabinet. Now that's the main reason I bought this, but since I have it in my possession, I figured I'd take a look at the features and see how it performs. The regular price on this is around $150 to $170 on Amazon or Best Buy, but like I mentioned, as of making this video, you can pick one up for $99 with Prime shipping. I will leave links in the description to Amazon and Best Buy. If you have a local Best Buy, they may have some in stock and you can pick one up today. Inside of the box, you get the feet, some instructions, and the Alexa-enabled remote. So this is a voice remote. This is the Insignia version, but it looks exactly the same as the Toshiba. As for connections, we have one 3.5mm audio out, optical audio out, one USB 2.0 port, and three HDMI in ports. Moving around back, we do have Ethernet, but this is only running at 10x100, composite video in, or RCA, whatever you want to call it, and we also have a coaxial, or the old school cable antenna in. So I've been testing a lot of things with this TV, and yes, you can use USB ports to expand the storage in the operating system, and you can also use a USB adapter so you can add more ports to the single USB 2.0 on the side. The TV also has Bluetooth 4.0 built in, so I was able to connect my Bluetooth Xbox One S controller and a PS4 controller. So basically what we have here is a lower-end Android TV box built in with a screen. For the CPU, we have the Amlogic T950Z. This is a quad-core CPU at 1.5 GHz, 1 GB of DDR4 RAM. I wish they would have added at least 1.5 GB of RAM to this unit, or even 2, because we are going to struggle with native Android games on this unit. But there's a ton of stuff that's going to work here. It has 8 GB of built-in storage, but like I said, you can expand this with a USB drive. The screen is 31.5 inches, 720p, 60 Hz. The Wi-Fi chip built into this unit is actually pretty good. It's 802.11 and AC, so we can pick up that 2.4 or 5 GHz network. Bluetooth 4.0, Ethernet 10x100. I think that the Wi-Fi on this is going to be faster than the Ethernet as long as you have a good connection. 3 HDMI ports, composite audio video in, and coaxial. We also have that one USB 2.0 port. For what we're getting here, personally, I think this is an awesome deal if you can pick one up for $99 and you need an extra television. Now, it's only 720p, so you're gonna have to get over 1080p or 4K, but at $99, you really can't ask for more. So here it is. The remote works awesome. If you've ever used the Amazon Fire Stick, you're gonna be very familiar with it. It does have that voice search functionality on it. And as you can see, I was able to connect my Xbox One S Bluetooth controller here. I also have two USB sticks plugged in using a 4-port adapter. One is working as external storage so I can sideload games and apps and things like that, and one is working as internal. And I'm able to install apps from the App Store to the one I have working as internal. We're going to go into the app section. There's a little USB drive beside it, so that's on my USB drive. Now you'll see that PUBG is installed, but it's just not going to work well on here. I was able to get it to boot up one time, but it kept crashing on me. So PUBG is a no-go on a system like this, mainly because we only have 1 GB of RAM. Open up Ida64, we can see we only have that 1 GB, but it is DDR4. We only have 217 available right now. The Amlogic 905Y at 1.5 GHz. This is a quad-core CPU, along with that Mali 450MP GPU, but it only does OpenGL ES 2.0. This TV contains an older chipset, but it's great for video playback, retro gaming, and even Steam streaming. I did run a couple of benchmarks. First up, we have Geekbench. For the single core, we scored a 652. For multi-core, 1900. I did run this a few times, and to put this into perspective for you, the Fire TV Pendant that came out in 2018 scored a 667, multi-core 1875. The TV I'm reviewing now and the Fire TV Pendant are using the same chipset. For 3D Mark's Ice Storm Extreme, we scored a 4,613, very low on the scale. This unit isn't going to perform that well with native Android games like PUBG and Asphalt. Now you could run Asphalt, but it might be a little bit choppy. Things like Crossy Road and stuff like that's going to work fine. As for video playback, this thing is awesome. We got Netflix, Prime Video, IMDb Free Drive, HBO, Hulu. All the great apps are available on the Amazon App Store, and you're going to be able to stream your favorite movies and TV shows to this thing You could even install Kodi and throw a build in there if you want to. But one thing a lot of my viewers like to see are retro games or emulation on a setup like this. And yes, you can install RetroArch, and it does work pretty well. Don't expect to play N64 or PSP on something like this, but there are thousands of retro games that are going to work, including PS1 games. And by the way, I am using the Xbox One S controller connected over Bluetooth. Through this whole video, you might have seen a little bit of banding with the television. You won't see that in real life. That's from the camera recording the screen, like you can see it at the top right now. But here's Bloody Roar 2 running in PC SX rearm through RetroArch. I do have the FPS listed in the lower left-hand corner. We get pretty good performance. I don't even have the BIOS installed right now. I tested out some PC Engine and Super Graphics games. They work fine on here. Super Nintendo, another console that's going to work great on this TV. And finally, Sega Genesis. So there are tons of different systems that are going to work at full speed on this setup, and there's even more than I showed you here. There's just really too many to list. If you want to do some MAME, some Final Burn Alpha, Neo Geo, all that stuff's going to work fine. Since we do have access to external storage, all of these games are running from a 32GB USB 3.0 drive plugged into that little adapter. So I have 4 extra ports now with the 4-port adapter. And if you don't like the XMB theme for RetroArch, you can always use the Ozone theme. I've done videos on how to set up RetroArch, how to get to the Ozone theme. I have tons of different tutorials on setting this stuff up on other Fire devices. It's going to work the same way on this television. You're probably going to want to install a third-party app store because the Amazon App Store is kind of lacking on these TVs. But Aptoide TV works great. I also have a tutorial on setting this up. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I chose this for a new arcade cabinet that I have going together, and one of the coolest apps that I'm going to be using here is Steam Link. Now, I'm not going to be using it for my retro games, but if I want to play some games from my PC, it's going to work great here over Wi-Fi or Ethernet. So I already have my gaming PC set up. I have paired this. We're just going to connect to that PC, and I'm going to stream GTA 5 to this Fire television. Now, it's only running at 720p, but I still think it looks great. It's going to take a second to load, so I'm going to skip right into it. And here it is, GTA 5 60 FPS streaming from my gaming PC to this television using the Steam Link app. And I'm still using the Xbox One S controller connected to the television, and in turn using the Steam Link app to control everything from my PC. What you see now on screen is all over Wi-Fi. So as you can see, Steam Link works great on this TV. For me, personally, that's worth $99. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. If you're looking for a small TV for a guest room, your garage, or even just to mess around with, this is a perfect setup as long as you can pick it up for $99. Today is March 29th, 2019. They are still on sale on Amazon and Best Buy. Links are in the description. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button, maybe subscribe to the channel, and like always, thanks for watching.